Good afternoon. I'd like to call to order the Startup New York Board for today, August 19th, for 2:30 in the afternoon here. Today I'm joined again by my other appointees to the board, Abe Blackman representing the Senate and Ed Copley representing the Assembly. And we're here to hear presentations from Empire State Development on 3 Startup New York plans being presented by colleges and universities located, 1, Long Island University, 2, College of New Rochelle, and New York University, part of their Startup New York plans. Again, just to reset the ground rules for everyone, these plans have been submitted to Empire State Development as part of their statutory mandate under the Startup New York program. They've been reviewed and have been, adjusted and consulted with, the experts at Empire State to make sure that the projects and proposals align with the Startup New York priorities. So just to kick off the meeting, I think the first order of business would be to ratify the minutes from our last month's meeting. I'll see if there's a motion from my colleagues here to ratify the minutes, or if there are any changes that need to be addressed during the meeting minutes. Go ahead.
I have a couple things just to look at or change. Just starting on 1103. So we have the minutes right time.
Yep.
1103. I probably said something like that. But it's not only about they have the capability to do more than the 75, but I was thinking about direct and indirect jobs. In other words, they would be thinking about, in their numbers, probably just about how many jobs they would have on campus. But they would also be creating jobs because those companies would be buying things from others, whether they're in the region or in the state or someplace else. So I just wanted to put that's where my thought was. So direct and indirect. So it's not fully reflective. It says something like, because it probably didn't include both the direct hires and the indirect or support of the hires that are on it, and it's like something to that effect, okay, if we could. Then I had another one. This is to you, Mr. Kennedy. Just because it's public record, so you have on the top, responded that leased property is treated as on-campus property for purposes of startup. May I assume that that's just in New York State? Could a campus lease property in another state and have it?
No.
No, I'm just trying to be, just somebody just reading it, I don't want them to okay.
Yeah, so it's for, again, startup is only.
No, I understand, I understand, I'm just talking about the public.
Universities, Cornell, NYU, others have all leased space outside of the state of New York, so.
Right, but they can do that, but it's not
subject to startup.
It can't be, right, I understand. And then on page 4, again, Mr. Copley, 1115, indicated they had personal experience. Yeah, I mean, but when I was in the state government, or from decades ago, or something that has nothing to do with being a member of startup. I'm definitely not. There's no conflict here. I'm just trying to use my professional opinion that so something in this position doesn't have to mention ways and means, but past professional experience, yes. Yeah. That's it for me.
I'm okay.
Yeah, and I think, I guess we'll see if there's a motion to adopt the minutes with the suggested changes from
I'll move it.
Dr. Copley.
I'll make
second.
them.
Well, why don't we put it on hold till the next meeting? And what we'll do is we will provide the revised minutes from the prior meeting.
Okay.
along
We'll
with this
table the
one.
motion.
Right.
and
Very good.
Okay. Good, so we'll go to the,
Good luck.
Thank you.
we'll get right into the meat of it now. So let's now turn it over to Trish Hartle with Empire State Development to give us a presentation of Long Island University's Startup New York plan.
Good afternoon. Long Island University proposes to designate 6,721 square feet of vacant space on the LIU Post campus in the village of Brookville. This is at the Bush Brown Hall. LIU Post campus, originally conceived to be a small liberal arts and sciences college, today is home to more than 11,000 students. Long Island University was founded on the principle of educating and empowering men and women from all walks of life. their mission of access and excellence, the LIU community remains committed to the educational needs and interests of their diverse student body. The types of businesses Long Island University will partner with in the Startup New York program are technology and technology-related businesses, including high-tech manufacturing and high-tech environmental sustainability enterprises. LIU seeks to partner with Startup New York businesses to provide positive community and regional economic developments that include job creation, diffusion of knowledge throughout the community, and promise for the future. To date, there have been 3 inquiries from businesses about Startup New York, one a biotech business from out of state. It is the hope that the basement space being identified for startup could eventually be shared lab space.
Okay, thank you. I guess we'll open up the floor to any questions from the board members.
I have an observation, and it's going to be both for LIU and the College of New Rochelle. And, you know, and my observation is we're learning as we're doing. And to me, an important issue is that we have a good conflict of interest statement. And I'll tell you right now, the NYU conflict of interest statement is very clear that it includes trustees. The others, has come to us, talks about the academic community. I'm going to approve all 3. But going forward, I would like, unless there's a reason, that when the universities come forth with an application, it's made crystal clear that trustees are included in the conflict of interest. Because I think if there's ever going to be a potential problem, from my experience, it'll be with the trustees.
Sure.
So it's just an observation. So I want to, the NYU definition is very crisp, and I like it. So, you know, when they define who the conflict of interests. The other 2, you read into it, they talk about the academic community without clearly defining it.
I do think the LIU one has the definition of trustee, but it's built into the
It's
way
built into it, but I
definition.
like the way NYU does it, so there's no ambiguity.
And this is good,
Yes.
saying it in this form.
And I'm not looking to slow anything down, but
Right.
just as you get applications, I just think it's, the universities and the colleges need to be,
And I think, you know, from our perspective, I think the board has sort of advocated for that, and it's been pushing that through.
Yes.
And we've heard it, we've seen it through all the various plans that have been submitted. I think they all do it in different
different ways.
But
I
you know,
finally
from the
saw
structure.
one, at least from
Okay.
me, and when we get to NYU, I'll talk about that.
Yeah, and I think it's useful to say in this public forum exactly what the board is looking for,
Yeah.
because to a certain extent, the individual schools have sort of their own way of doing things, and
I fully understand that.
you know, we have sort of a vision for what startup is and
Right.
what the process should be, but this is critical, I think, to giving other schools some guidance on what should be in these forms.
And I tell you, you protect the school and you protect the president by clearly saying the trustees have to be subject to the conflict.
Okay.
I think that's really great advice. But it's also good to set the standards out there, right? Make it clear.
Yeah. But I hadn't seen one that I really liked, and I got to tell you, the NYU had just a clear definition of who this covers, and they, right at the beginning, says it starts with the trustees.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay?
Any other?
I just had a question.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, so I don't have a lot of experience with Long Island University, but I was reading about their College of Management and the studies and the potential to do work
Yeah.
there. And I was thinking one of the reasons that something is very, I think could be very an important contribution for Long Island and also for the state of New York in terms of a lot of things in worldwide competition is fundamentally, is it possible, and I don't know if they have the capability or they don't have the capability, but to basically do a study, at least of what's happening under Long Island University, of the economic activity that's related to what they undertake, right? So the jobs that are created at Long Island University or off campus or wherever it is in the buildings, but not only include the direct things that most people look at, there's 5 people in this place that work for them, but the companies that also supply, as those, hopefully some of those companies mature, get past 5 or 10 or 15 people, and then they have to have other space, and they're hiring people for the inputs, because I believe, and that's to my comment at the last meeting, but why the jobs are probably going to be greater, is because we only think about the direct hires that are there, not all of these indirect people in the community. And I believe that the universities, some universities have a huge impact in the footprint in a region.
I don't think LIU, and
I don't know the people.
I think That would
Maybe
be
it's
an
a different-
appropriate thing for a Cornell or an NYU, where
okay,
they
fine.
have an infrastructure to do
They
that.
do.
I don't think, just knowing the schools
Okay.
well, I don't think LIU would have that
But
infrastructure.
maybe that's one of the things we can
Yeah.
ask as we go along, or they can help us to do this for
Yeah.
the state.
And I know, and Cornell actually
And I-
does that systematically every year.
Correct, and
They-
because, again, like this, from the state's perspective,
Yeah.
and the other hat, we've got the state data center that used to be at the department is now with, a partnership between Department of Labor and Cornell University.
Yeah,
Perhaps we could
Cornell
see
is the
that.
leader in exactly what you're looking for.
Is that something possibly we could, I don't know.
We
how-
already, yeah, I mean, I think the state of New York already has an existing relationship to
and we
do
could-
economic
And then we can
Yeah.
basically
we can-
have them focusing on this.
I mean, I think there are issues we've got to work through as
Okay, I
Cornell being
understand.
a startup applicant and things like that, just to
Yes.
work through the various issues.
But at
that's something-
CICU, they were the clear,
I appreciate
within
it.
the 110, they were at the cutting edge of exactly that stuff.
Great, thank you.
Okay. So hearing no further comments
I'll move it.
or,
I second it.
okay, we'll move it, and then let's go to the roll call vote.
Okay. Mr. Cooperly,
In favor.
Mr. Lackman,
Yes.
Mr. Kennedy.
Yes.
All right, by 3-0 vote, the motion carries, the plan is adopted.
Great. Good, let's pivot to the College of New Rochelle. Again, Tricia will give us an overview, and then we'll, again, open us up to questions. Thanks.
Okay, the College of New Rochelle proposes to designate 20,334 square feet of vacant space on campus. The College of New Rochelle was founded in 1904 by the Order of St. Ursula as the first Catholic college for women in New York State. CNR has grown from one school with 12 students to 4 schools with 6 campuses and over 6,800 students. 3 of the 4 schools are now co-ed. CNR's mission is to respond to the needs of society through its educational programs and service activities and through fostering the concept of education for service. The types of businesses identified by the College of New Rochelle are high-technology businesses, including biotechnology, information technology, remanufacturing, advanced materials, and engineering or electronic products. The College of New Rochelle will seek to partner with businesses making advances in technology such as informatics and robotics and other high-technology areas, offering students internships and shared learning experiences in research, administration, and management. To date, the College of New Rochelle has had 3 inquiries from IT, software development, and R&D businesses interested in locating in the College of New Rochelle tax-free area.
Thank you. Any comments?
I have a couple of questions. I really don't know a lot about a lot of the colleges, but
You know quite a bit on this one.
so I'm just reading it on this under the academic mission, and trying to compare the academic mission to the words that were just read about what they would potentially partner with. We talk about engineering and other things. Do they have an engineering capability at the campus? All I read is nursing, new resources, liberal arts, graduate school, education, communication, human resources. I'm just wondering about the fit of what they're looking to do versus what their academic platform is. I'm not saying it's bad, just was looking for how does it meld?
I would make the observation, Ed, that A, it is a liberal arts college, but B, you've had some major 500 companies that have actually come out of liberal arts colleges. And probably the best example is Bristol Myers Squibb, which came out of Hamilton, 2 chemistry majors. So you don't know where this thing is going to do.
Right.
They've got a nursing program, and and they're probably more focused on healthcare. But I think we're going to run into this question with liberal arts colleges in general.
So they have, can I just ask?
Yeah.
So then they have science programs, so there's
Yes.
physics, chemistry.
They have science
So all that,
programs.
okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
they
just
do
not
have science
familiar-
programs.
I'm just not familiar.
Yeah,
with
they may not have a school of
Yeah,
engineering.
yeah, I understand, yeah.
Yeah, but they
Just
have
reading the
science-
words,
yeah.
didn't-
Yes.
it didn't,
And seeing where other universities are headed, we saw last time with Clark's University, their focus on bioengineering and taking those engineering type of attributes and applying it to the healthcare field. I think that's what the College of New Rochelle is looking to do, not on the design and development of actual devices, but how to utilize those devices in the, academic setting, and then in sort of the real world, whether or not it's, a nursing, someone working at a hospital or doing work in a research lab.
And I was very impressed with their step 4, how they will validate applicants, and the types of questions that they would ask the applicant, will it lead to internships, fellowships directly related to the students and, and work development. So I understand the concern that a liberal arts college is never going to be like an RIT or a
No, I understand,
Cornell.
yeah.
But I don't want to dismiss them.
No, I'm,
Yeah.
I'm with you. I just was just
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
get a sense. I went to a liberal arts, Lemoyne.
Right,
I mean,
Lemoyne.
They have, and my brother was a chemist and he did, but I just didn't see the sciences.
And I will tell you, New Rochelle probably is going the same direction of Lemoyne, because I was on their board of trustees,
Right.
which is more increasingly, they realize they've got to get more and more into the sciences and technology, and they are putting their resources, new resources into those areas.
But just on a
Yeah.
positive note, I was really impressed under step 3 when they had NAICS code. It's the first time I saw NAICS code. That's the, in my heart.
Paying attention.
They were paying attention someplace, whatever. But thank you
Okay.
very much. Appreciate it. I have no problem.
We have motions to,
I'll make a motion.
Second.
In that case, we'll move to a roll call vote again. Mr. Kubley?
In favor.
Mr. Lackman?
Yes.
Mr. Kennedy?
Yes.
By 3-0 vote, the motion carries and the plan is adopted.
and we'll turn to our final plan on New York University's tax-free proposal. Again, Tricia will provide the overview, and we'll open it up to questions.
New York University proposes to designate 19,500 square feet of incubator space on campus. Founded in 1831, New York University is now one of the largest private universities in the United States. New York University's mission is to be the top-quality international center for scholarship, teaching, and research, focusing around 3 core research interests: health and wellness, information and communications technology. The types of businesses they will partner with in Startup New York will be high technology businesses and businesses in the formative stage of development, including digital media, clean tech, healthcare IT, cybersecurity, financial technology, information technology, education technology, and mobile applications. NYU would look to identify qualifying companies, curating a natural synergy between the companies and the university research goals, providing services, tools, instrumentation, equipment, or technology that will assist with university research in the 3 core areas indicated. To date, NYU has had inquiries from about 30 companies that are interested in locating at NYU for Startup New York. Those inquiries range from health technology companies, PR digital platforms, cybersecurity companies, among others.
Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, I had one. And I just wanted to see if I spoke to Philip on it. This one splits the space between Brooklyn and Manhattan. Where is it now? Against which allocation?
One of the areas that they're designating will be in New York County.
Right.
And the other 2 will be in Kings County.
And they're going to count against,
75,000.
and then at one point, they're going to consolidate everything into Brooklyn? Or
They have plans to build in the future, and they're talking about in 2017, space at another location.
Right.
In which case, they would inform businesses as they're coming in to the current startup that is what the plan
I
is.
thought they were actually going to move the Manhattan business.
I don't think their plan is
Okay,
totally.
all right. Okay, then I'll
Yeah.
wait.
And I think it's through that partnership with NYU Poly and the sort of the
Right.
Brooklyn,
Right.
the sort of the downtown Brooklyn corridor.
Right.
There'll be, potential future expansions of that future lab, I guess,
Right.
that they're in
Yeah.
development.
Right, okay. But,
But yes, I mean, I think the space in Brooklyn will count against the Brooklyn cap.
and the
then
Manhattan space will count against the Manhattan cap.
yes.
Good. Okay.
Motion.
I'll move it.
Second.
Great.
Right, in that case, we'll proceed to one final roll call vote. Mr. Kubley?
I just gonna put on the record, I have no relationship with NYU, but I used to be a consultant for them, so FYI. Okay.
How long ago?
I ended my relationship with NYU about 2 years ago.
How long had that relationship been?
That, I had a 3-year relationship with them as a consultant prior to that. So I can recuse myself if you want, but I'm comfortable voting for it.
Just just a little more information.
What?
What was the nature of the consultancy?
I was an advisor to the president, John Sexton, on campuses abroad, nothing to do with any New York projects.
I don't see a problem with it. Philip?
Okay?
I don't know if the other board members have an issue with this?
No.
Yeah, okay.
No.
All right, gentlemen,
It
we'll
was done
continue.
before the startup was.
Yes, it was
ever
done before it
conceived.
started.
Yeah.
Yes,
Exactly. All right, gentlemen, we'll proceed with the roll call. Mr. Copley?
Yes.
Mr. Lackman?
yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Kennedy? By 3-0 vote, the motion carries. The plan is adopted.
Okay, that concludes our agenda for today. I think we'll continue, I think we're in our rhythm now of every few weeks. I know there's a couple of additional colleges that are pending review. We should have those wrapped up probably in mid-September.
What's the board's general availability for the last 2 weeks of September?
I'm pretty available.
Yeah, I only have, once the end of September comes, I'm gone for over a month, so.
For over a month?
Yeah, about a month. Yeah, the whole month of the next October.
You mean October?
Yeah.
So why don't we try for maybe the third week of September?
Yeah, as long as it's
Yeah, if
before
you're
the last
ready.
week, the end of the last week.
Even
yeah.
the last week's
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're leaving on the
But it's
30th.
just October is?
Yeah. yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And I compliment the staff for doing the running tally now.
Yeah, it's very nice.
It's helpful.
Yes,
Very
very
helpful.
helpful. Thank you.
Yeah,
We'll continue then.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay, and I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Second.
Great. There we go. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
That was fast.
Yeah.